Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week of Wednesday Night Dash, presented by Stadium Scene TV. Tonight, we have the FR Racing's Garage Talk 70, presented by FR Racing's Garage Talk, here at Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. Real quick, let's go take a look at Phoenix Raceway. It opened in 1964. It is 1.02 miles in length, which technically qualifies it as a short track. There's 11 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2, 9 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4, and 11 degrees of banking through the dog leg. Tonight's session rules is as usual. I believe it's 40-minute practice, 2-lap closed qualification, 70 laps, or a 45-minute race with a competition yellow at lap 30. Couple notables is that dog leg here at Phoenix is very unique. You can cut the dog leg by entirely. So basically, if it's paved, you can use it. Really unique to this racetrack. We had kind of a fun race last week at Bristol. Let's go take a look and see how the points standings shake up after last week. We have Colton Gardner still running up front with 167 points, but only 5 points separate second place from fifth place. And that would be Brian McKinney at 132, Eric Richardson at 131, Jesse Fox at 130, Fernando Takahashi at 127. Then going down the list, we have Dylan Behrens at 118. Then DJ Fluck running 7th with 117. Mark Willett at 114. John Miles at 101. Lane Snow at 91. Ian Miller at 64. Tyler Vickery at 55. Andrew Hewitt at 30. Bill Mulfield at 26. Mark Vickers 25. And Justin Neves and Jax Milan have not made a start yet. Jax Milan is supposed to be making his season debut this week, but it doesn't appear that he is in the session right now. Real quick, this is the FR Racing's Garage Talk 70, so let's go and take a minute to talk about Garage Talk. Today's race is sponsored by the FR Racing's Garage Talk. Join hosts Eric Richardson, driving the number 13, and DJ Fluck driving the number 88 as they recap the week in motorsports, both real and simulated. New episodes released Fridays at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you download your favorite podcasts. Starting Monday, February 19th, join Eric and DJ as they release a second show, Race Weekend Recap, where they go over the results in about 5 minutes to get your Monday started. Now, something also cool brought to you by the Stadium Scene and FR Racing crew is the Indy Racing World Series. With iRacing and the IndyCar returning behind closed doors, Open Wheel Series is now the Indy Racing World Series. Join us Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern for all the action from the newest broadcasted iRacing IndyCar series here on Stadium Scene TV. See Wednesday Night Dash drivers like Eric Richardson, DJ Fluck, Brian McKinney, Ian Miller, Mark Willett, and myself battle on your favorite tracks like Auto Club, Las Vegas, and legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There is still room for more drivers. Visit frracingonline.com/IRWS to learn more and register. A $10 broadcast fee gets you into the 10-race season. That's the Indy Racing World Series starting February 20th at 10 p.m. right here on Stadium TV. That's definitely going to be really fun. And right now, as the drivers are qualifying, let's take a look at our let's take a look real quick at the Indy Racing World Series schedule, and then we'll hit you with the Wednesday Night Dash schedule. So they're going to be starting off at Chicagoland, running 100 laps at Chicagoland on February 20th. Then they're going to be going to the Indianapolis Oval for 60 laps on the 27th. Then they're going to be heading to Road Atlanta, which is going to be very, very interesting. That'll be 45 laps on March 5th. Then they're going to go to Homestead, then Auto Club, Indianapolis Road, then Milwaukee, Iowa, Texas, and then closing out their season at Las Vegas. So definitely stay tuned in Tuesday nights on Stadium Scene TV. But right now it is Wednesday night dash time, and today we are at Phoenix. Next week we are taking next week off because it's Valentine's Day weekend, so everybody can enjoy a very nice holiday. Then we're coming back strong though. We're going to the Charlotte Roval. Then after that we're going to be heading to the Indianapolis Oval. Then we're going to be kicking off March strong by going to Texas. Then we're going to head to Dover and close out the season at Kansas. So it's definitely going to be a very fun rest of the season. It's kind of surprising that we're already halfway through the season. It seems like this thing just got started a couple of days ago. Now let's see who's hot right now in the standings. Track. Oh, looks like we have some new colors from Brian McKinney this week, running the Lucas Oil with the blue, yellow, and red to spice it up. Eric Richardson's on track, running the Dad's, like, front of his hood, but his car actually looks very similar to Brian McKinney. That might be a bit interesting to try and figure out when they're running side by side. But we'll be able to do it. And hit second fast lap. Oh, and it looks like he might improve on his time. It looks like I think he did. Plus, this is his second fast lap right now. Oh, he got into the qualifying is about to end. So it is main event. Alrighty. We have Colton Garner rolling off P1 and Ian Miller rolling off P2. Really strong performance by him. Then we have Jesse Fox rolling off P3 and Dylan Behrens rolling off number 4. Then we have Bill Mulfield rolling off P5 and Eric Richardson pulling up in P6. After that, we have Lane Snow rolling up P7 and John Miles rolling up number 8. We have Brian McKinney running P9 and Mark Willett running P10. And rounding out the field is DJ Fluck, who did not qualify. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's on pit road now as they're getting ready to roll off. Let's see if we can get... Alright, let's see if we can... Who's in the chat? Let's see if we can get a quick driver interview before they roll off. Here real quick. Ian, it's Hunter in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, man. Rolling off P2 today. Phoenix seems to be kind of a sneaky fast track for you. How you feeling tonight?
Horrible. I'm slow here. The car feels not great, not to my taste. I like a lot tighter setups. I've got no clue how I pulled that. So,
All right, well, good luck.
thank you.
Looks like you'll have a fun race ahead of you.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
All right, so Ian, not actually confident about his abilities when he's rolling off position 2, so we'll definitely go ahead and see it. Get a bit of a wider angle as they come around turn number 3 under the control of Colton Gardner. Green flag is out here. Colton Gardner gets a pretty good jump. Let's see who cuts the dog leg right away. Looks like a couple of drivers are electing to stay up at the top. They're all fanning out. Brian McKinney, looks like he gets into lane snow just a bit, but they keep it rolling 3 wide. They are as they come through turn 2 and go back onto the straightaway. It's a bit of a mess there in the back of the pack as everybody's trying to get their stuff figured out. Lane snow on the outside of Eric Richardson. I knew it was going to be difficult to try and keep these drivers, try and tell these drivers apart. Looks like somebody is blinking a little bit. I can't tell if somebody's in the... Looks like Bill Mulfield got into the wall just a bit, but he's able to keep it rolling. Doesn't look like his car is too much damaged. Ian Miller looks like he's starting to put the pressure on the number 40 of Colton Gardner. You know, that's the thing. Like, you don't want to cut the dog leg every single lap because cutting the dog leg gets you a huge advantage on speed, but you're eating your tires up. You're absolutely chewing your tires up. Limberenz, or Jesse Fox, excuse me, looking fast right now. Trying to put the pressure on the number 1 of Dylan Morenz. But the heat is on for the lead. Phoenix Raceway is a tire-saving racetrack, so we'll see how these drivers can handle it once we get into closer to the halfway point. You can see the different lines that the drivers are taking through turn number 3 and 4. Everybody's still running pretty close together. Everybody's single file as of right now, but Dylan Morenz now looking sneaky fast, and Dylan Morenz actually has the fastest lap of the session. But he slides a little wide there, and Jesse Fox is going to look underneath. Is he going to be able to get a move secured just yet? Jesse Fox, Lane Snow, Brian McKinney all running within about a second of each other. The gap from 1st to 6th, maybe only a second. We have one of our drivers, I think it's the number 1 machine, blinking out a little bit. It's definitely hurting the speed of all the other cars. Looks like the pressure has calmed down for the lead for right now, but Brian McKinney is really hot on the number 5 machine, and he's gonna look to the outside, going around turn number 2 to go down the back straightaway. Isn't able to make a move just yet. Ian Miller keeping the pressure on Colton Gardner, and the number 1 of Dylan Morenz is keeping the pressure on Ian Miller. Nobody is checked out yet, which is very cool to see that all these drivers are still able to keep it within half a second of each other. Colton Gardner not able to feel the cool breeze that he is used to feeling this season. He's feeling like a dragon breathing down his neck. Because that time by, these two drivers are pretty much even in lap time. Ian Miller only about a 10th slower than Colton Gardner. But Ian Miller's got to be careful, though, because if he focuses too hard on trying to make a move on the leader, Colton Gardner, Dylan Morenz in the number 1 is going to be right there to take advantage of it. Already 10 laps down as they cross the line. It'll be lap number 11. Oh, Ian Miller looks a little loose. That's going to allow the number 1 to get right to the back of him. Possibly make a move. Number 1 looking to the inside. Ian Miller going to give him all the room in the world. But they're going to be not quite side by side, but a move might be done here in the next lap or so. Looks like the car is starting to slip away from Ian just a bit, but he's still able to hold on to it. Whoa, the number 1 of Dylan Morenz goes for one heck of a ride. Is able to keep it alive, but that allows Jesse Fox to take that position 3 spot. Now, that's the thing with all these drivers running so close together. If any one of them make even a slight mistake, they're almost guaranteed to lose at least one position. Jesse Fox looks really fast, though. Really starting to put the heat on the number 48 of Ian Miller. As Ian Miller looks like he runs a bit tight through there. And it's going to be close between these two drivers. Like, oh, man. The number 1 really dive bombs that turn and almost takes out the number 69 as the number 69 gets very loose. Is able to keep it alive. All these drivers basically just playing leapfrog. Number 1 looks to the inside of Ian Miller once again. Drivers still giving each other all the room that they need. They want to race hard, but they do not want to take each other out. It looks like the number 1 is now going to get clear of the 48 as the 48 taps the wall just a bit. Oh, 48 drives it in deep. Almost gets into the back of the 1 car. Is able to stay alive as the number 68 or 69, excuse me, is trying to make the move. Everything has settled down just a bit. So let's go through the field. Oh, as I said that, Jesse Fox is now to the inside of Ian Miller. It looks like Ian Miller is doing a really good job of rolling the top line and keeping his 4th place or 3rd place drive alive. Looks like they are a bit separated out now. So let's take you through the field, starting with the number 40 of Colton Gardner, running that Jiffy Lube paint scheme, looking really, really nice. Then running second, we have Dylan Morenz in the Hendrick Cars Jordan nice lime green paint scheme. Then Ian Miller running a nice paint scheme that he's run the rest of the season. Very clean. Then we have Jesse Fox in the Sunoco machine. Also iconic to Jesse Fox. We have Brian McKinney running the Lucas Oil. Then running P6, we have Eric Richardson in that Dad's, I want to say it's Dad's beer, but I don't, no, Dad's root beer. Okay. Then we have Lane Snow in the American Airlines number 5. Running P7. Running P8 is DJ Fluck in the Extreme Sim Racing Ford Dark Thunder. Dark Horse? Yeah, that's what it is. Dark Horse. Then in P9 we have Mark Willett in the Koopas Racing number 80. Then number 10, in 10th place we have John Miles in the Spider number 45. And last but not least is Bill Mulfield in the Apex Racing number 911. Back up front, Colton Gardner has started to check out once again, almost about 2.5 seconds in front of position 2, Dylan Behrens. It looks like Jesse Fox, Ian Miller, and now Brian McKinney are still running pretty close together. Jesse Fox still trying to put the pressure on Ian Miller, and Ian Miller is just trying to survive at this point. There's only about 7 laps to go until the halfway break. So Ian Miller just wants to hang on for 7 more laps. But there is a hungry Jesse Fox and a hungry Brian McKinney right behind them. Now, real quick, we're going to go ahead and introduce one of our new segments for this season, which is the Turn It Up, presented by Stadium Scene TV. Alrighty, as we come back, there is a bit of looks like I missed something as I was away. Lane Snow and DJ Fluck are both off the racetrack, as Jesse Fox and Ian Miller are running side by side pretty close together, and now Brian McKinney. Now all of a sudden this battle is raging on once again. Brian McKinney starting to put the pressure on Jesse Fox, which now Jesse Fox is probably like punching his steering wheel, telling Ian Miller to get out of the way. But they're all staying alive. Only about 1 lap or so until we get to the lap 30 stage break. Oh, about 2 laps. These drivers want nothing more. Ian Miller wants nothing more than for this stage to be over, as Jesse Fox is all over the back bumper of him. They're coming to the white flag, one more until the stage break. Cole Garner's going down the backstretch to take the green and white flag. for the stage yellow. So as they run now, real quick, I want to take a look at what happened to DJ Fluck and Lane. Oh, I'm not really sure what happened to them, but maybe we can zoom back and see what went down. Real quick, we have to do this very fast. So DJ Fluck is just riding along. I'm not sure if they had an incident. It honestly doesn't look like they did. But DJ Fluck and Lane Snow. Right, as they come down pit road. Everybody gets down nice. As they enter, Colton Garner 1, Dylan Berens 2, Ian Miller 3, Jesse Fox 4, Brian McKinney 5, Eric Richardson 6, Mark Willett 7, John Miles 8, Bill Mulfield 9. As it actually looks like Dylan Berens has overtaken Colton Garner on pit road. I wonder if one of the drivers have sped there. Interesting to see if Dylan Berens sped on pit road. But we'll see what that has to do. Dylan Berens is off pit road and Colton Garner is off. And Dylan Berens overtakes Colton Garner on speed as we look back. Brian McKinney gets in front of Eric Richardson there. So, interesting shakeup. Dylan Berens at the moment, has the lead over Colton Garner. And it looks like Ian Miller rolls out P3. Then it's kind of a mess. It looks like Eric Richardson, or Brian McKinney, P3. So, Brian McKinney had a really good pit stop. Or P4. It looks like Eric Richardson, 5. What happened to Jesse Fox? He comes up about P6, and Miles and Mark Willett. Field road now. Well, so that looked like that was totally legit. Dylan Berens is your leader. That was definitely an interesting call to try and overtake Colton Garner on pit road. It paid off. But now we're going to see how Dylan Berens can handle being the control car. Not too often this season that Colton Garner is not the control car. So we'll also see if Colton Garner can handle rolling off in position number 2, as it looks like DJ Fluck has joined me.
I said I didn't want to do this again, but I'm here for a different reason this time. Lane Snow and myself were booted out of the session for some reason.
I wondered what happened, because I saw you two both left, and I thought you guys had an incident, but I was not able to find an incident, so you guys got kicked out?
Yeah, I was just driving, and all of a sudden, everybody else disappeared from the track, and then I got a disconnected from the session message. It won't let me rejoin. I'm trying to rejoin, and it errors out about 10-20% loading, and it says failed to connect to race server. So Lane's having the same problem.
Dang, that's not good.
That's a first. I've never had that happen before.
Yeah, definitely. Well, unfortunate.
So insider driver chatter is Lane or Dylan is probably going to give Colton the spot back after the green flag.
Okay.
They were discussing the pit exit on the. I didn't hear the full details, but it sounds like Dylan's going to give the spot back.
Yeah, they're back rolling green now. And it looks like Dylan is racing Colton Garner for that position, so
may have changed their mind since I switched over to the booth.
And Colton is actually under pressure for position 2 as well, and Brian McKinney is going to surge. We've got a bit of drama now, it looks like. Ian Miller now underneath the Colton Gardner. Colton Gardner's able to roll it just fine, but Colton Gardner running position 3 at the moment. Yeah, I was a little shocked with that as well. Dylan Behrens overtaking Colton Gardner in pit road, because he kind of rolled through all the pit boxes, which was a shorter way around, and Colton Gardner stayed outside of the pit boxes. But it doesn't look like either of them caught a penalty, so who knows? But right now, Dylan Behrens, your leader, and kind of starting to pull away. What's interesting that I've noticed is Colton Gardner is not as fast as he's been in previous weeks. The only reason why he was able to pull to about a 3-second gap in the first half is because position 2 and position 3 were racing very, very hard. So he was able to drive away. But Colton Gardner not very hasty on trying to get the lead back. We'll see what happens.
You know what? I got back into the session, and I'm gonna go try to get a lap back and get ahead of Lane in the standings to get into the top 10 tonight.
Okay. Like a bit of an issue, internet-wise, with DJ Fluck and no, but that's the difference. Even though it is P10 and P11, position 10 pays better points than position 11. Even if it is a limited number of points, still pays the bills. So DJ Fluck back on track now. 14 laps down, but he's back out there running. Ian Miller trying to put the pressure on Colton Gardner, but it looks like everybody's just riding around for the time being. The question is, when is Colton Gardner going to say, okay, I've had enough of this, let's get our lead back? Or is he just going to ride around and save some tire until the end of this race? Always such a hard call when you're at a racetrack like Phoenix, because the speed differences are not that much. So you having to drive your car deeper to be able to make a pass or be able to run side by side with somebody is just chewing up your tires and stuff. We'll just have to see. What the deal is, and it looks like Lane Snow is back on pit road as well. Like he's going to maybe he'll roll out again. The battle happening between Jesse Fox and Erica Richardson and John Miles now. John Miles, a rookie of the league, and Jesse Fox, a sophomore in the league. John Miles just looking like he's going to hang back, and all of our drivers are back out on the racetrack now. Lane Snow's back on the racetrack, and DJ Fluck is back out there. That's really good to see that they all they were able to get back in and they kept it running. Question still stands, when is it go time for the number 40 of Colton Gardner? Colton looks like he's a bit quicker. Actually, that time, Colton Gardner was slower than your 2 leaders. As he looks like he's going to try and make a move to the inside. Brian McKinney wasn't able to close that gap. As the leaders are starting to catch up to the slower car of DJ Fluck. DJ Fluck is very respectful and just pulls it down onto the apron, or onto the dog leg. This is about the closest battle on the racetrack. Garner looking to the inside, trying to stick his nose down there to the inside of Brian McKinney, but isn't able to get side by side just yet. He gets a really good run out of turn number 4. Good run for Brian McKinney, though. Looks like Brian McKinney, with him running position 2, is the highest gain of positions, with +7 positions as he's running P2. Looks like everybody else is about plus. Dylan Berenz is +3. Strong run out of Brian McKinney, running +7 on the board. Brian McKinney is one of the silent drivers of Wednesday Night Dash, but he is one of the stronger drivers of our league. You know, I don't think I ever see him in our Discord, and he doesn't really speak in game chat that often. But he consistently will hit podiums. He's gotten a couple wins. Brian McKinney is one underdog of a race car driver, and right now doing a good job of defending against the number 40 of Colton Gardner. As they cross the line, last time by was lap 51, so there's 20 laps to go here. And Dylan Berenz is starting to check out now, with about a second, 1.3 at the gap to the number 8 and the number 40. As Colton Gardner tries a way different line and looks to the high side instead of trying to go low, and is honestly starting to open up the door for the number 48 of Ian Miller. Starting to see the pressure kick up now as we're starting to get down to the wire. $17 laps to go here. This gap only about 0.2. And as these two go to start battling, Ian Miller is going to be right there to capitalize. It's a Chevy versus Ford versus Toyota. And Ian Miller for this podium, for the podium spot. That last time by, Ian Miller was actually the fastest car running. So Ian Miller is hot when it counts. all of these drivers are so dead even on speed that something drastic needs to happen for, I think, for a pass to be made. One of these drivers needs to make a mistake for a pass to be made. Ian Miller closing the gap on these three now. Pressure is on. Brian McKinney slides up wide just a little bit. That's going to allow the door to open for the 40. But the 40 not able to hold it underneath just yet. This is the battle for the podium spot. Colton Gardner trying to take a different line through turn 4 to try and find some sort of speed. Let's ride. Let's see the best seat in the house. Let's ride along the inside of Ian Miller for a lap or so. See Ian Miller downshifting to third gear, which is actually very interesting. But as I go, Colton Gardner got clear of the number 8 of Brian McKinney. He's now going to set sail towards the number 1. But now let's see if Ian Miller can also make way of that number 8, as the number 8 gets a little bit loose, as they both get loose coming down the back straightaway. Oh, they get into each other, and the number 8 and the number 48 turn in turns 3. Ian Miller's going to tow. Brian McKinney's going to keep it alive. And that was just a deal of... I knew Ian Miller's line was very wide through turns 3. And Brian McKinney's line was very, very shallow. Brian McKinney was holding the white line very consistently. And it was just, things just did not work out. I could almost see that coming a mile away. Ian Miller tried to make a dive bomb, and it did not pay off, but it's unfortunate that Brian McKinney also got caught up in that incident, but he's still running at position 6, so it's not the worst thing in the world. There's a bit of a battle going on between the number 69 and the number 45. Ian Miller gets back on track. Good on him to get back out there. Try to hold his own and actually cross the finish line. Dylan Behrens making a really bold call on pit road, having it pay off and avoiding the really long and arduous battle between position 2 and position 4, is setting sail on the field right now. Only 6 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway. Remember, we have next week off because it is Valentine's Day. But then we are going to be coming back strong with the Charlotte Roval. I expect drivers like Ian Miller to be very, very strong there, as Ian Miller goes ahead and makes a pass for around Bill Mulfield for the position number 8. But I expect Ian Miller to be fast there. I expect drivers like Eric Richardson maybe and Mark Vickers, if he shows up, to be very strong. Not really sure if we have any other road course ringers in our league. I think Ian Miller and Mark Vickers might be the biggest ringers that we have. There's only 4 laps to go for Dylan Morenz, but the gap between Dylan Morenz and Colton Garner is closing. That last time by, Colton Garner was almost a half a second faster than the number 1 machine. 3 laps to go. The gap is only 0.7 of a second, so this will be a very interesting end of the race. Dylan Morenz looks like he's having one heck of a tight race car to battle. 0.3 now separates the top 2 as they go down the backstretch. Dylan Morenz needs to hold it on for 2 more laps. 2 to go here at Phoenix. Dylan Morenz needs to hold that white line and is not able to, and actually almost gets into the wall. And Colton Garner is going to be able to take the lead back. And as they come through turn 3 and turn 4, Colton Garner is going to take the white flag presented by Stadium Scene TV. Colton Garner not able to check out as well as he did in previous races. He actually had to work for this one from pretty much from the green flag to the checkered flag as they go down the backstretch. Dylan Morenz really going to have one last shot to try and get to Colton Garner, but the checkered flag is out. Colton Garner is going to win here at Phoenix. Dylan Morenz is going to make a strong showing coming home P2, and Eric Richardson is going to come home P3. Jesse Fox is going to bring that machine home P4. John Miles P5. Brian McKinney is going to come home position number 6. Mark Willett is going to come home position 7. Ian Miller is going to bring that thing home position number 8. Bill Mulfield is going to bring it home position 9. DJ Fluck is going to bring it home position 10. And Lane Snow is going to bring it home position 11. Very, very exciting racing from start to finish tonight here at Phoenix Raceway. We're going to get some drivers in here in just a second for some interviews. Let's open this up real quick and let's drag in, who do we got in here? Let's drag in Colton, Dylan, Eric Richardson, and Dylan Morenz ejects himself back. There he is. Okay. So Eric Richardson, driver of the number 13 machine, brings it home position 3. That's 2 podiums in a row. Eric, tell me about your night.
Yeah, about that. I didn't know what to expect going in. I kind of tended to struggle here in these cars on this track.
Yeah, definitely it was a quiet throughout the race, but came back strong when it mattered the most at the end. Good job and a strong showing tonight.
Oh, thank you. And congrats to Colton, and can't wait to watch the battle with him and Dylan at the end.
Yeah, and I think that's all I have for you tonight, Eric. So go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
So Dylan Morenz brings it home position 2 after making one heck of a move on pit road and pretty much controlling the second half of this race. So Dylan, tell me about your night.
First off, I want to say congratulations to Colton. We text every night after the races, and I always tell him I want to steal one from him, and that's not how I want to steal one from him. So that's why I give him that spot back at the end of the race. I couldn't take that from him because of what happened on pit road. He had a great car, and I'd rather battle with him for the win than just steal a win from him. So I give him that spot back, and I would rather race him for a win than get a win just like that.
Yeah, I was a little shocked with what happened on pit road. It looked like you were just rolling through the pit boxes and Colton wasn't, and you were able to get a considerable speed difference, and you rolled out almost a second quicker than Colton did on pit road. But you did a good job of holding down the podium once the green flag did come back out. You were driving away from the whole rest of the field. And honestly, I thought it was going to be your show to steal tonight.
Yeah, my car's, everything under a mile and a half, I've got speed. And I've shown that, this season so far, minus a few mistakes that I made personally, but um, you know, I tried to hang on Colton's left rear down pit road because I knew I was going to pit before him, and I didn't think it was going to give me that much of an advantage. And when I rolled off pit road, instantly in my head, I said I screwed up and I shouldn't have taken that from him. And the whole second segment, I was waiting for him to come into second, and I was playing in my head, I'm going to give him this win, I'm going to give him this win because I can't steal it from him like that.
Now, definitely a classy move. That's one of the things I absolutely love about this Wednesday Night Dash League is because some drivers would be eating that steal up for breakfast pretty much, but I appreciate you being like respectful, and I'm sure Colton appreciates it, and really all of us here appreciate the respect from all the drivers out there.
Yeah, of course. And, I wouldn't be here without, Colton. Colton helps me out a lot. Really nice guy. And I want to steal one from him the right way.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all I have for you tonight, Dylan. Congratulations on the P2.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. And Colton Garner, as he's sitting in victory lane right now, gets another win. Colton, tell me about your night.
It was really good, honestly. I mean, the track was really hot and slick, but first things first, Dylan is a class act. He didn't have to do that. I owe him one. But that was one heck of a race. That was one heck of a race between me and Brian McKinney. He held on really, really well there for a long time. I was beating on his bumper pretty much the whole second half. But it was really difficult tonight. This is the hottest this track has ever been since we've been racing on it. Every single time, really. It was really hard to hold on to, but we're lucky to be able to hold on to it tonight and bring it home.
It was definitely very exciting to see because I noticed that even in the beginning of the race, you weren't able to drive away from the field as you usually do in the beginning of these races. Everybody was staying within a second. I think it was about the top 7 was within a second from you until about lap 20 or something, and then you really started to check out. But then the second half, I was getting worried there for a second that you weren't going to be able to get past Brian McKinney because he was defending really hard, and you guys were so even on speed the whole time. But yeah, definitely good run tonight.
Oh yeah, it was great racing from everybody tonight. I'm really happy everybody was able to race as clean as they did tonight. You don't get that in a lot of leagues, really, even on iRacing at all. Sometimes in official races, but it was fun tonight. This track was a battle. This is honestly probably the hardest race we've had this season, just for holding on to the tires and everything. So, but yeah, good job to everybody, and I owe Dylan one.
Yeah, so not next week, but the week after next week, we head to the Roval. And I know you've been putting in some time turning right as well as left. Are you nervous, confident? How are you feeling going into the Charlotte Roval in a couple weeks?
I am nervous because I cannot get into that backstretch bus stop without completely blowing through it. Um, but hopefully put in some practice over the next couple weeks, and maybe we can have a good grip to hold on to maybe at least like a top 5 or something in that race. Because we got quite a few road guys in here that are pretty good at what they do. Um,
Absolutely. And before I let you go tonight, you got any people to thank?
yeah, I'd like to thank Jiffy Lube for coming on board this season, and it's really cool to put them in victory lane again. Thanks to French Broad Fire and Rescue for all their support through this whole tenure that I've been doing this and Wednesday Night Dash, pretty much. Castle Garen Creations, Carolina Legion, W Energy, Moza, everybody that helps make this thing go round. Good, clean humor and inspiration. Everybody. I really appreciate everybody's help and support. So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks, I guess. Thank you, everybody.
Yep, thank you. And that's all I have for you tonight, Colton. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yes, sir. You too. Good broadcast.
Thank you. So we're going to wrap up here now. It was a good race. Definitely exciting from start to finish. Now, next week, like I said, next week we have next week off because it is the Valentine's Day, but we will be back for the February 21st for the Charlotte Roval. Definitely be here, same time, same place. My name was Hunter. I am glad to call for you tonight, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.